Hello everyone, welcome back to Each White with Ebubekosia. Today we'll be touching on a very interesting topic with a very interesting guest. I'll leave him to do the introduction.
Hello Esther, thanks for having me. I'm Dr. Seth Makapipasa, I'm a medical officer at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, and today I'm here with Esther. We'll be talking about mental health in children and how nutrition plays a vital role in the mental well-being of our children.
Awesome. So I would want us to touch on the introduction to mental health in children and nutrition's role.
Okay. So mainly, mental health encompasses a child's emotional, psychological, and then social well-being. In childhood, that is where most of these children form their social skills, their communication skills, how they cope, how they adapt to various situations. So it's very important that we guide them in all ways, which nutrition also plays a very vital role. Mental health disorders like anxiety, ADHD, which is attention deficit hyperactive disorder, and then depression, they manifest usually in childhood. Even though we don't pick them often, they manifest in childhood. So it's very important to learn about the role nutrition plays in childhood.
Okay, how about in the selection of the food and probably their eating habits?
Yeah, so it's very important to incorporate food that have the nutrients which help in neurodevelopmental pathways. So you have mainly there are vitamins that contribute to that, to the development of your neurons, to keeping you alert, to keep you energetic. Vitamins such as vitamin B1, vitamin B6, B9, B12, iron, even iron, zinc, they all play vital roles in developing the brain of the child, let me put it simply. And then also choosing these foods or choosing foods which contain these nutrients is very important. So our whole foods, the green meats, the green leafy vegetables, the cereals, they are very important because they contain all these nutrients which will help the child to develop their brain.
Yes, I really support what you are saying because most of the time, because they are now beginning to create likeness in particular food.
Yes,
that's the best time to introduce them. So instead of giving them sugar sweetened beverages, probably fruit ice popsicles, or if they don't like eating fruits and vegetables, blend them into food so that they are not really seeing it, but then they are eating it. Yes.
And to add up to the sugary substances you talked about, we can provide alternatives for that.
Yes.
Honey-laced foods, or even yogurt in place of the ice popsicles, or the ice cream. Yogurt parfait in place of the ice cream. So we are opting for healthier options. Yes. Opting for healthier options.
Okay, I would want us to touch on the essential nutrients for brain development.
Okay.
Some of them,
yeah. So as I said, I talked about the vitamins, the B complex vitamins, so B1, B2, B9, B6, and B12. Mainly, all of these put together help the neurons to develop, help the neurons to communicate with each other, to put it simply. And then also zinc. Zinc also helps with the development of the brain, the cognitive processes. It also helps with that. And then iron. Iron is important in the body because it helps, it forms part of hemoglobin. Hemoglobin transports oxygen to all other parts of our body. So if we have adequate amount of iron in our body, or we have adequate amount of iron in the food that is going to the body, we increase the oxygen carrying capacity of the hemoglobin. So oxygen is better carried to our brains, which also helps with, brain activity to put.
Okay, you being at the pediatric unit, what are some of the common mental health concerns in children that you get?
Mainly anxiety, and then attention deficit hyperactive disorder. Most of the children that we are seeing now, especially after the COVID period, are coming in with autism. or autism spectrum disorders. Some are so engrossed with the screen because it started from around the time, and then now they can't do without them. They have very poor communication skills because they are so engrossed in the screen. And those are some of the mental health issues we see at the outpatient department. Yeah.
And is this something that is affecting their nutrition?
I would say so, yes. Some don't even like eating. Some don't like eating. You'd have to convince them with, if you eat, I'll give you more screen time. If you do this, I'll do this for you. So it affects nutrition in that way.
That's right. Yeah. Awesome. So let's touch on some practical tips for promoting healthy eating habits in children.
Promoting healthy eating habits in children really incorporates a lot of practical strategies that you can employ. Actually, practicing healthy habits can be very daunting to the parents because of our busy schedules, because children can be very picky eaters. But then there are some methods you can employ to make eating interesting, especially healthy eating more interesting. One way that I find very useful is making it very fun and engaging. You can employ food art. So in the kitchen, you make food art with your vegetables, with your fruits, to make them more exciting, because children love things that are fun and exciting. They are drawn to those things more. So
they're drawn to colors.
Yes, colors. And speaking of colors, you can also play this game called Eat the Colors, where the child names or identifies the color and then eats the fruit. So if it's pineapple, what color is this? Yellow, and then they eat the pineapple. It helps with that. Yes. And then another way too is to involve them in cooking. It's very important. We see a lot of TikTok videos where parents are involving their children, teaching them how to cook. A study actually shows that children are more likely to eat whatever you involve them in. By 76%. Yes, by 76%, they are more likely to eat what they prepare. So if you involve them in meal prepping, they are more likely to eat what you are also cooking. Another way is also to lead by example. Children copy whatever we do as adults. Yes. So if your child sees you eating junk food, you'll also be drawn to eat junk food. But if your child sees you eating carrots or other vegetables like broccoli or onions. Some people really hate onions. If they see you eating those things, they are drawn to it and then they want to try. Like, oh, mommy is eating this. Can I also try it? Will it also work for me? And then also, because some of these children are picky eaters, it's very important to be very patient with them.
Yes.
Picky eating is very common. Yes. It's very common. But then the good news is that it's temporary. Even I was a very picky eater.
I was too.
Yes. So it requires patience. It requires introducing the foods they don't like in bits.
Yes.
Okay. Or even adding them to food they already know. Yes. And then they like. Yes. So maybe your child doesn't like the broccoli or doesn't like carrots, but then they like mango very much. You can't add carrots to mango.
Yes.
So you introduce them in bits, and they get used to them. Because those things are very important. The carrots, the cereals, the green leafy vegetables, they are all very important. Children especially hate vegetables. We have to be introducing it to them in those bits. So those are some of the ways practical ways that you can employ to promote healthy eating habits in your children.
Okay. I think also packing of healthy lunches are also very, very, very key. If not, you can buy from someone you know is cooking it well. I am happy with the fact that some schools actually have cooks. Who do amazing.
Some schools.
Yes, some schools. Yes, and it's quality. Yes, so I think it's something that is very encouraging, because most of the time, whatever the children pick now would have effects on them in the future. So even though they might not like it, we have to find strategic ways of involving these food ingredients in their diet
to get the nutrients to them.
Exactly. But I was so scared of watermelon seeds. So for me to eat watermelon, it means all the seeds will have to be out, because I feel if I swallow it, I think I watched a cartoon that's
the tree.
Yes, the tree came
the
out
tree
and
came out of
yes,
the yam.
yes, and considering that maybe you would let your children watch healthy food related cartoons.
Yes,
there are
that's
a lot,
also very important.
yes, because at least it makes them know that okay, this is not poisonous. This is not poisonous. And if we are to limit ourselves to our culture, we might miss out on other interesting foods out there. I used to love I still love banku, but then if I'm to choose between sorghum banku and then the normal banku, I'll go.
You take the.
Yes, I tried it in Tokyo. It was nice.
Wow.
Yes, you didn't see all the colors. It was pure green and red.
And I'm sure that biting taste
it's nice. Do you know that I brought some back to Ghana?
You didn't bring me some.
Don't worry, now I have some. And there are amazing startups that are packaging sorghum powder. I was in Tamale and then I got some like sorghum. You can buy the raw one that you can use for banku, and then you can use the one for porridge. We shouldn't limit ourselves to okay, maybe I'm an account, so it is only for food that no, try to so far as it's exactly so far as it's interesting, you have to do it. You made mention of adding carrot to banku. Someone will say, why are you adding carrot to banku? Anything to make my child eat would encourage the child to be taking that. So I think it's something that we would have to take note. And also it brings the role of caretakers both in school and at home.
Because everything actually starts at home.
Yes.
Okay. Another study also shows that families that eat together are more likely to have children who get all these nutrients in the right proportions.
Yes.
And also families that stick to regular feeding times. Okay, like in the morning you have a time to eat, afternoon you have a time to eat, in between the morning and then the lunch you have snack time.
Yes, mid-morning snack.
Exactly. So all these things help the children to be very conscious of okay, our eating time, this is when I'm supposed to eat, and it eliminates a lot of eating disorders as well.
Exactly.
And then not just the mental health part, the eating disorders are very important. The physical part is also important. Am I malnourished? Am I obese? All these things are also important when you're talking about children's nutrition. Yeah.
Have you ever had cases where probably the child was not involved with adequate physical activity?
So a child that's
either more or too little?
No, more too little. Yes, you see a lot of too sorry. So you see a lot of malnourished children because of our setting. Okay, there are lots of people who are underprivileged or because of economic issues, financial issues, they are not able to take care of the children as they are supposed to. And you see a lot of these children come malnourished, very, very, very sick. So it's something we see almost all the time. But for children that are obese, some people will say that a healthy amount of fat is healthy in children. But then it gets to a level where you yourself, you know that my child is eating too much, so I have to cut down.
Yes.
So you have to bring them back. Those are not so much as the ones who come malnourished.
Yes.
And the ones who come malnourished, you see that they have some neurodevelopmental delays. They are not able to do things as some of their peers would do. So that is why it's very important that we are talking about this mental health in relation to the child's nutrition.
Thank you very much, Doc, for giving us this insights. Any takeaway?
Okay, so the takeaway is that patience and consistency, okay, in dealing with your child's nutritional needs. Start small, stay consistent. Add one new thing, one new meal to your child's food every week, even every day if you can. And then just wait for the child to respond to whatever you are doing. Don't be in a hurry, don't pressure the children to eat what you want them to eat. But introduce the children in a way that they would like. In fact, you can even give them incentives, but non-food incentives. Let's say you've limited their screen time, so you can say, oh, if you eat this thing, I'll give you screen time. Such things, such little incentives will also go a long way to impact the child's physical and then mental health.
Thank you very much. I'm glad we are having this conversation because children are very dear to my heart, and I believe most of the corrections that can be done is best to do at that level. Do well to share with your friends. This has been Eat Right with Ebukusia. Stay tuned.